Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show live stream and podcast. Now, look, we've got, we're well into December now, aren't we? We've got the 8th of December today. It is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, about which I'll be telling you more. Who doesn't like an Immaculate Conception first thing in the morning? And according to my chocolate, excuse me, according to my chocolate advent calendar, there are 2 days left until Christmas. The ever practical and sensible and intelligent T-Duck said, well, just buy a new one when I saw this yesterday. Thank you, Viv, for bringing that to our attention. And on the matter of our own video advent calendar, it was Deagle's turn this morning, and I'll bring you part of Deagle's video because it's a long one. It's a tour around his house and his Christmas lights, which is almost a Christmas tradition institution. What about Moaz? Where's Moaz? Remember, he had a fabulous video as well. He loves Christmas. And used to be in and out of the community. Not seen so much of him recently, but if you're listening, Moaz, and you have a Christmas video for us this year, we'd be delighted to receive it and share it on our video advent calendar on our homepage at all the W's, goodmorningportugal.com. That applies to anybody who would like to light up Christmas 2023 with us and share their pictures, videos. If it's a complete video, great. I'm very happy to top and tail it with the Light Up Christmas insignia and the song by Warren Sharm, and do a little bit of post-production on it, which I've been doing. Also on the matter, and we'll show Deagle's video in a little while. Also, just a public safety notice, the long-awaited sprouts and parsnips at Jason's shop, Quinta Essencial in Central Portugal. The parsnips and the Brussels sprouts have now been delivered and are ready for Christmas pickup. Is it a bit early? Would they keep till Christmas? I guess yeah. I mean, well, anyway, he's got them in stock, and you can buy them as you at your leisure and at your pleasure. I would suggest that from a public safety point of view, that no one lights up Christmas anywhere near anybody who's been eating either those or those. Be careful out there with that sort of thing. And we're now in a limbo period politically. Apparently, the knife's out on the government's last day in full swing. So the government was retired officially yesterday. Some say, what else is new? But they officially retired yesterday. I think that was the end of the 15th legislature of Portugal. And there will be a new 16th political Portuguese legislature from the 10th of March when the election happens next year. Isn't it fascinating? I find it fascinating, finding about the politics of this country, and had a brief chat with Daniel Reis of Reis and Pelicano on the Dream Team session last night, which was, as ever, very informative, as was Jackie's. You see Jackie on a Wednesday here. Jackie was doing her deeper dive into the numbers, comparing the cost of living of Portugal with that of the UK and the US. Very interesting it was, to loads of information, and that will be published on Sunday at 6 o'clock if you want to take a look at that. But great work, Jackie. And a very busy and interesting evening again last night over at on the Expats Portugal YouTube channel and webinar and Zoom call. Okay, why don't we light up Christmas with Deagle's video now? And it's a whole 2.5 minutes. I think what I'll do is, if you want to see the whole tour, I suggest you pop to our YouTube channel. It premiered at 8 this morning, or on our homepage. I'll play you the first little bit of a tour around Deagle's gaff. And first of all, his Christmas message, which is lovely. Music to come, another music video from Branny as well. We'll be rocking out with Branny this morning. And of course, at 9 o'clock this morning, bring those Portuguese language and culture questions so that Tia Filomena can deal with them. She is not long back from the Açores, where she spoke to Genuino Madruga, if you remember. He was going to join us this morning, but unfortunately he's got a cold and can. There's a lot of it about at the moment, isn't there? Change of season and so on. He's a bit under the weather and not able to join us, but he will be joining us in the new year. But we'll have plenty to talk about with Filomena after her trip over there to the Azores. And I've got a video of really a slideshow and some video clips from her journey over there. And of course, get those Portuguese language and culture questions in. And a new jingle. This is the old one.
Filomena Friday.
And we've got a new one to premiere when she joins us at around 9 as well. Great work, T-Duck and Owen on the new one. This
Filomena Friday
makes way for a new jingle that will premiere at 9. Let's go to Belfast in the meantime and get a lovely, lovely greeting from Deagle.
Happy Christmas, Gumpers from Belfast. And I hope everybody has a peaceful, happy, loving and giving Christmas. And after all, this is what it's all about. The baby.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and a member show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
So superb work. Thank you, Deagle. Deagle, did you have any clothes on? I think I saw a quick look of you in the mirror there. Were you naked filming that video there? I see out of the corner of my eye? Good job. Well done to you. Whether you were clothed or not, excellent video. Thank you very much, mate. And a lovely greeting at the beginning there. Keep them coming, folks. 913-590-303 is my WhatsApp number. Also, the number, if you want to get involved on the alerts for this weekend in Coimbra, I'm going to go by coach this weekend, by bus. Walking down to the end of my street by the Intermarché supermarket, jumping on that Red Espresso coach to Coimbra. There in time for the welcome drinks at around 6 o'clock this evening. So we'll be having a few jars this evening in Coimbra and getting ready for a bit more filming tomorrow at the Epicura Brewery. Us after a brunchy, lunchy thing, first thing, and a fado performance tomorrow evening, and a tour with Filomena on foot around the city on Sunday. So looking forward to that. Lots of Filomena between now and Sunday for me and anyone else joining us here this morning and on Sunday, of course. Let's go to the chat, to the comments. Filomena's already here and getting ready. Bom dia, alegria. Bom feriado. Hoje é dia da Imaculado Conceição. Right. Let me tell you more about this. The Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception is a holiday day here in the cafe. Sorry, I just read T-Duck's message. In the country, he's in the cafe. I'm in the. I think I'm in the country of Portugal. I got a bit confused there. The Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception here in Portugal, also called the Immaculate Conception Day, celebrates the sinless lifespan and Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary on the 8th of December, 9 months before the Feast of the Nativity of Mary, celebrated on the 8th of September. Now, am I the only one thinking that really this should have been celebrated 9 months before Jesus' birthday? But anyway, I mean, we're talking about miracles and things beyond the realm of the rational mind here. It is one of the most important Marian feasts. What a lovely adjective. And I think I am pronouncing that right. If it's to do with Mary, it's Marian, isn't it, rather than Marian? But anyway, it is, according to Wikipedia, one of the most important Marian feasts in the liturgical calendar of the Roman Catholic Church, celebrated worldwide. And by pontifical decree, some wonderful words here, by pontifical decree, it is the patronal feast day of Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Italy, Korea, Nicaragua, Paraguay, the Philippines, Spain, and the United States and Uruguay. By royal decree, not just your pontifical degree. It is designated here as the day honouring the patroness of Portugal. It is celebrated by the Roman Catholic Church and some select Protestant denominations. So there you go. That's why we're having a holiday here today in Portugal. Right. Good morning, Carl and Louisa. Like the Christmas video. Did you put that tree up yourself, Carl? Which was... Oh, did I put it up myself? Okay. Thank you very much. I don't think we haven't filmed one yet, but we did have a little pre-roll around the neighborhood last night. San Martino is looking beautiful. Mrs. M is going to do some footage of that in the next few days, and we'll have our own light up Christmas video from San Martino de Porto. Great job. My town here, really good jobs, looking beautiful. And of course, we have a very special New Year's Eve here too, with fireworks in the bay, as I understand it. So looking forward to the whole festive period here in San Martino de Porto. Oh, and a gathering. If you want to come over on the 27th, in between Christmas and New Year, we're gathering at the Storytellers Hotel on the 27th for lunch. Come join us with a 3-course meal. Bom dia, meus Gumper amigos. Feliz sexta-feira. Put in the sex in sexta-feira today. We actually have a sunny day ahead of us. Good gracious, man. Here in Hertfordshire with a high of 10 degrees. That's 50 Fahrenheit. Thank you for the conversion. Weekend looks ropey, though. Ropey, what a great word. God's God tip of the day. Just before we look at the last exercise to avoid, I should make the point that the ones I have mentioned this week are okay, but have to be treated with care. Yes, it's not an excuse not to do any exercise, everybody, in case anyone was thinking that. As always, gently does it, and if it hurts, stop. Now, having said that, says the coach, the 5th one is known as a behind-the-neck press, which sounds like a medieval torture as well, I have to say, Coach Turner. This is where you have a weight bar behind your head and lift it up. This puts an unnatural strain on your shoulders. When I've seen the other boys in the gym doing that, I've thought to myself, that doesn't look like any fun at all. It looks like one of those things where it's a lot of pain for some gain. And I've naturally gravitated away from that machine. So I'm glad to hear that, Coach Turner. Like the pull-up mentioned on Monday, this exercise can lead to problems with the rotator cuff in your shoulder. Rotator cuff. So many good words and phrases on the show this morning. Good morning, Coach, says T-Duck in response to your learned and erudite fitness comments, Coach. I tried to convince my trainer that yoga was a good workout. He thought it was a bit of a stretch. Plenty more of that from T-Duck this morning, including lies we tell our kids and the dad jokes, of course, that we'll share with Filomena before we go on our way on this sexta-feira. Bon dia, Gumpers, says T-Duck. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpers, actually. Just around 8 o'clock with a Feliz Sexta-feira Todos and a Feliz Festa de Immaculado Concepción, Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Everyone's getting into that today. Today, Portugal celebrates this national public holiday. Thank you, Immaculate Conception Day, otherwise known as the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Wonderful. So from T-Duck's researching point of view, this is a religious holiday to celebrate the conception of the Virgin Mary, who Catholics believe was born without original sin. Often people confuse it with the day when Jesus was conceived, which I just did I not, a few minutes ago. So it's a celebration of Mary and her holiness. I think I'm right in saying there, based on your excellent research. Cheers, T-Duck. Portuguese saying of the day: apressa e inimiga da perfeição. Apressado conclui quente. Haste is the enemy of perfection. Hurried eats raw and hot. Oh my goodness. I especially like that second bit. Hurried eats raw and hot. Apressado conclui quente. Amazing. And haste is the enemy of perfection. But yes, also excellent spoils the good. It's a matter of finding balance, is it not? But yeah, very good. Excellent stuff there. A couple of Portuguese sayings of the day. And I am behind with those. I must get those up on GMP VIP. And I do want to riff a little on the deep thought of the day. Who doesn't like raw and hot? Deep thought of the day then, with the continued contribution. I'm so grateful to you for these, T-Duck, from T-Duck here with a deep thought. Nobody says you must laugh, but a sense of humor can help you overlook the unattractive. And we're going to come back to the end of that after we found out a little bit more about Anne Landers, who it's been my great pleasure to discover this week, thanks to T-Duck. Lederer had chosen not to have a new writer continue the column after her death. So Anne Landers ceased to exist after publication of her final material written before her death in 2002. So let's complete that deep thought of the day from Anne Landers. Nobody says you must laugh, but sense of humor can help you overlook the unattractive, tolerate the unpleasant, cope with the unexpected, and smile through the day. I think that's the Gumper Creed almost right there, isn't it? So no one says you've got to laugh, but a sense of humor can help you overlook the unattractive, tolerate the unpleasant, cope with the unexpected, and smile through the day. With no particular town mentioned there that would tick all those boxes. Let's not do that. Dad jokes then being squirreled away for the end of the show, but I think we'll have a quick look at the lies. Oh no, I'll wait till Filomena joins us with the lies we tell our kids. As a teacher and parent herself, I think she'll appreciate those. So we'll have a little sandwich of T-Duck content there with the lies we tell our kids soon after she arrives, and some dad jokes for our departure, seeing us into the weekend. T-Duck giving way to James here at about 8:15, I think, this morning. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz sexta todos from James. Good morning to you, mate. And the Global Nobles are here, who I'm really looking forward to seeing at the weekend as well. Bon dia todos from them, and bon dia todos from John. Actually, it's a great opportunity to play the first Poo Stick video now. Sunrise wasn't until 7:48. Counted at least 5 different church bells ringing in the valley. Probably my favorite sound sensations. Yeah, I heard the church bells at 8 this morning. Only one set. The bells! T-Duck loves them as well. And church bells are the loveliest sound. And you know, some people don't like them and ask for them to be switched off in their neighborhoods. It's such a romantically idyllic scene. Morning mist, sheep grazing, and reverberating church bells sweetly providing the background ambience. That is beautiful, John. Let's go to your Poo Stick. The first Poo Stick Championships of Portugal. Here we have 35 seconds of pure excitement on a bridge in the north of Portugal.
Okay, here's our Poo Stick bridge for the first challenge. Old bridge in Coimbra. From there to there. Okay, first Poo Stick challenge. Okay, the first stick to go all the way under the bridge wins.
Can you see your stick, John?
Oh, I was going to say my stick got stuck.
But it's in the lead.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, John and Pam, for that. Please send your Poo Stick videos in from around the rest of the country. It could catch on. It could become a thing. So thank you very much. I enjoyed our talk about that earlier this week. And there it is, the first video to be shared. Let's stay in the Heimbach household, shall we? And a naughty cat. This is very festive.
Well, I don't know if you remember the old Kelly's Devon clotted cream, vanilla clotted cream ice cream. Oh yes, I remember that.
Now, one wonders how long that Christmas tree is going to be up for. Cat face, you naughty cat, enjoying yourself in there. And that was Owen in the background, of course, talking to us on the morning show the other day. Brilliant timing there. Thank you very much, John, for that cat face. Enjoying the Christmas decorations right there. Let's go back to a few more of your comments and hellos this morning. Before we welcome Filomena with us at 9 o'clock. Yes, okay, I see the punchline to your joke. Did you put that tree up yourself? Hope you washed it afterwards. Yes, very good, Pete. The Global Nobles, I'm picking you arms thrown out wide. Oh, okay, yes. Picturing you, I think. Picturing your arms thrown out wide, a la Sound of Music style in that scene. Yes, Schwaldador. Can we have that video as well, please? Of you running through the northern Portuguese countryside. The hills are alive. Excellent. Deagle's in. Thank you for your video, mate. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from a very wet Belfast. 7 degrees, should dry up tomorrow. And Carl, I got you a Microsoft Christmas calendar. It is great, but Windows do keep shutting unexpectedly. Brilliant. I've got you an Apple one. I just can't figure out how to open any of the windows. Is today a public or bank holiday in Portugal, the 8th of December? Yes, it is. As we've said, it is the feast, the day of the Immaculate Conception celebrations, Festa Feriado aquí. Bon dia from Pam. How you doing, Pam? Good to see you here. And I know I've got your light up Christmas video pictures as well, so I'll stitch that together in the next few days. Thank you so much. 913-590-303 for those pictures and videos, please. Bon dia alegria, buddy. I enjoyed reading your post yesterday on Facebook. Excellent stuff. Or still lying in bed. Okay, so maybe not the sound of music, the sound of snoring and other such noises emanating from under the duvet. I'm looking out my widescreen windows, facing the sunrise to the east and the river and farm fields to the north. A nun's outfit wouldn't spoil that scene entirely, I have to say, John. Bon dia Malta from the beautiful Bayrada, and a few tips for the weekend from Andy to come as well this morning. 2 Brussels sprouts and a parsnip in a pear tree. For those of you who don't understand the context of that, yes, Jason has got the sprouts and the parsnips in stock at Quinta Esencial, and there's a little clip on the Portugal News and Information podcast talking to him about how he managed to wangle himself some of those root vegetables. Imagine getting that on your plate, a parsnip and 2 Brussels sprouts as a starter. Be an evening you never forget. Okay. James says, Pete, we actually do have a lot of partridges. They are really funny, especially when they run, and 3 pear trees, but not seen one in the other yet. We want that picture when it happens, though. That proof would be excellent there, Pete. And partridges are funny little birds, aren't they? They really are. Love the Christmas home tour, Deagle. Yet the full-length version of that is up on the director's cut, was what I showed you this morning. And the full version is on our YouTube channel or on our video advent calendar on the homepage at goodmorningportugal.com. Everyone else's houses look so tidy compared to our chaotic. Yes, now you mention it, I feel the same. By Randy. Deagle's gaff was immaculate, wasn't it? It's not just an immaculate conception this morning, it's an immaculate house over there in Belfast too. Just take your glasses off and you can imagine it just how you like. Same with anything, I guess. And how did they figure out today was the day of Immaculate Conception? It's a celebration of Mary and her sinless being and state, I think, rather than a scientific matter, Pete. That is an 11.5-month pregnancy. Jesus really didn't fancy coming out. No, I think you've got the wrong end of the parsnip there, my friend. Not sure partridges ever find their way into a tree of any kind. I think they're pretty much ground dwellers, but not sure about that. Now, talking of ground dwelling and deep thoughts, I posted on Facebook yesterday that an aeroplane is built to be in the air but spends most of its time on the ground. I was hoping to make some sort of grand spiritual metaphor with that. And I was proven massively wrong. Hold on a minute. I remember this guy. Capricorn 12. Yes, Chris. Hello. How are you? Where you been? Yeah, partridges. Okay, they're on the ground a lot. They're built for flying, aren't they? But they spend their time on the ground. Isn't that strange? A pastel de nata is built for eating, isn't it? And being enjoyed, but spends most of its time inside a pastry cabinet. And the human being, what are we built for? And where do we spend? Do we spend most of our time in the archetypally pristine state condition of being a human being? Or do we spend, like the partridge, although maybe built to fly, we spend most of the time on the ground? The airplane analogy completely ruined it, my metaphor that was. But there's just something in that about how things are built to do something. Us human beings must be built to do something. We haven't figured it quite out just yet, have we? But if we do figure out what we've been built for, how much of our time do we actually spend doing it? And that was the point I was making about an aeroplane. Built to be flying, isn't it? But it has to come back down to earth and it has to be on the ground to be maintained. Birds generally fly. I mean, most of them feed on the ground, don't they? They have to come back down to the ground to sleep and eat. I think some can sleep flying, can't they? Which is quite dangerous. Don't try that at home. And so obviously some feed on the wing as well. But even though they're built for flying, they have to spend time in other states and conditions. Do you see where I was going with that? Maybe not. It sounds like I've been smoking the wacky backy and staying up too late. I am sure you're right, James. We have red-legged partridges, must be about 40 of them. And thankfully, as the car is silent, we do. Of course, it's not just partridges. Flipping electric cars frighten or surprise me as well. The only time I've had a near-death experience on the main road when I'm out walking the dogs was when an electric car bore down on me at some considerable speed. And I have to say, I responded like an old giffer. I happen to have, it's a long story, but I happen to have 2 very tall pieces of canna with me, the great big bamboo-like plants. And instead of apologizing to this car that bore down on me and nearly killed me, as far as I could make out in the haze of what was going on, I shook my canna at this car and slowly walked away from the scene. I showed them who was boss. That was only because they hadn't shown me just a few minutes before. Bon feriado from Pam. Good morning to you, Pam, again, and thank you for your pickies. And hello to you, Chris. We've never seen them up anywhere except for hills. Are we talking about partridges again there, or parsnips? Jesus got his name when Mary told Joseph that she was pregnant. Joseph exclaimed, "Jesus Christ, it's true. I saw it on Facebook." Naughty. Hope you're okay, Chris. We have been saying our prayers for you and your dad. If you ever need to get away from it all, you're always welcome. Well, that's very kind, Pete. A backstory there I'm not familiar with. I take it your father's not too well there, Chris. So lots of love to you and to the family. Take care and hope to see you in Portugal soon, and hope everything is going as well as it can be by the sound of it with your family over there in London. Hola amigos from Owen as well. You'll hear his voice on the new jingle produced by T-Duck and sung by Owen, giving way to this one.
Filomena Friday.
From Now That's What I Call Jingles Volume 1. We've moved on and we've got a new jingle for Filomena. Jackie! I've got a little fruit fly buzzing around. It's disappeared now, which makes me suspect I might have swallowed it. Morning all from Jackie, the humble crafter. Good to see you here again, Jackie. And the OLP. Wow. Hi, Carl. Presumably here to see Filomena this morning. OLP, lovely to see you here. And not sure, I want to know how the poo stick got its name. Winnie the Pooh, I believe, as well. And Joao de Nort, you're absolutely awesome. It was a good race. That was rapid. I'm going to have to do mine this week. So Pete's up for a poo stick challenge as well. The valley is alive with the sound of church bells. Just to carry on that theme this morning. And it is surprising how anyone gets any work done. More public holidays than work. That's a vast exaggeration, Peter. Come on. Bon dia todos. What's the big deal? Why does everyone need to be working all the time? AI is going to help us out, isn't it? And then we'll have more holidays. Bon dia, Carl. You should have seen Gus perk up at your Hills Are Alive rendition. You may be onto something. What's singing for dogs? I had no idea. Oh, I'll take it. Okay. 150 in Montana this morning. My goodness, 10-2 over in Montana. Thank you for being here. And my favorite partridge was Danny. Very good. Partridge family. Get it? And it's the Immaculate Conception of Mary, not Jesus. Thank you for that clarification. Very good. Yes, there you go, Pete. That should help with your mathematics. Are you doing little Christmas videos this? Absolutely. You missed it this morning. And they're on the homepage, OLP. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go there right now and show you how many we've got so far. Just as Filomena's getting ready. She's going to be joining us in just a mo. I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing. It's the same as last year, of course. I'm not sure if it was on the homepage, but I thought, well, light up Christmas 2023. Let's get that on the homepage. It's probably the most important thing that's going on at the moment is the spirit of Christmas and lighting up Christmas and reaching out to each other with love, care, fondness, compassion, and joy. So yes, we absolutely are doing little Christmas videos. Some of them actually quite big and eye-watering, OLP. And there they are on the homepage. John and Pam kicked us off with Vigo. James in Ericeira, Martin Jarl, some of their festive highlights were embodied as well on our website. Familia Bairandi in Agada. Miguel Carvalho talking to us about traditional Portuguese Christmas. That's a very interesting little segment from the Wine Club last Monday. The Roonies on the Silver Coast, which should be a TV show, of course. Aviva the Ocean Dweller in Madeira yesterday. And Deagle in Belfast this morning. Look, there are still, 16 spaces to go until Christmas Eve when the final window will be opened. So send those pics and videos to 913-590-303 and I'll get editing. Last couple of hellos then this morning. Good morning to you, Antonio F. For now, that is not the last couple of hellos, but we've got to bring Filomena on in just a moment. Okay. Big Tony, sure you will enjoy Filomena's section today. Not often you meet the only Portuguese circumnavigator of the world twice, and he didn't even start until he was 51. Now, sadly, he's not joining us this morning. He'll be with us in January, but Filomena is here to talk about him and her meeting. You may have seen the video. That's also on our YouTube channel of her interview with Genuino. Humans are built to reproduce and argue with each other. Okay, so answering the big questions, what are humans meant for? That's why we have a mouth and the other bits. Carl, ever seen a bird's nest in a tree, for instance? Most birds do not sleep on the ground. No, I said they sleep in the air, as in flying. Or is that completely ridiculous, like my aeroplane comment yesterday? I would not be surprised to hear that some birds sleep while flying, okay? As crazy as it sounds. I mean, a lot of human beings sleep while walking and working, don't they? Inside a tree hollow on a branch. Okay, all right, sorry. I just witnessed the most athletic feat. Cat-face leapt 2 meters up the porch door to slap a nasty fly. Got it and ate it too. Give that cat some more food as a reward there, a catty treat. I'm not sure I want to participate in a poo stick challenge. You so do. Gary Mills, bon dia from a very wet Wales. Good morning to you, Gary. Lovely to see you. And Mama Lama is here. We'll come back to your comments in just a moment. And throughout the show, because I want your questions about the Portuguese language and culture. And Filomena is here, and we're going to premiere that jingle in just a moment. Bon dia from Virginia, US, which is where Mama Lama is. There is a seabird that never lands. An example to us all. Wow. Okay, let's hear the new jingle. I think we should give her a big round of applause. And bring her on screen. Hola, bom dia, lovely Christmas tree.
Olá, bom dia.
Olá, bom dia, tudo bem?
Tudo bem, obrigada. E com vocês também?
Muito bem, obrigado. And very excited, Filomena, because we have a new jingle. We used to have this, which we loved.
Filomena Friday.
And now, everybody, I think I've got a drum roll somewhere here. Let me see if I can find a drum roll, because then I'll have to go back across the jingle bank to play the new jingle and premiere it. Yes, here's the drum roll. Here it is.
Filomena Friday. I need to learn the language to put me at ease. Filomena Friday. It's gonna take time learning Portuguese. Filomena Friday. I get confused nearly every day. Filomena Friday. How do I know which verb is okay? Filomena Friday. Practice those words so loud and clear. Filomena Friday. On a Filomena Friday, it's a day of cheer. Filomena Friday. Tripsforbrits@gmail.com.
You actually made a video there, Filomena. I could abstract that and have you doing the actions to that video. Great job, T-Duck. Beautiful singing, Owen. It's harmonies. There's a bass line. Isn't that fantastic, Filomena?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Owen and T-Duck, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so thank you, both of them. Excellent work.
Really, really good. I don't suppose you were expecting that, were you? You teach Portuguese. Did you ever imagine you'd have your own jingle as well?
No, of course not.
You played the bass, so live bass playing.
Yes,
and harmonies. Yeah. Love the harmonies, says Bob as well. They're great jingle.
Yeah. And of course, Owen's voice is something, isn't it?
Yes, it's rich and fruity and lovely. Yeah. So and congratulations on the Scotch eggs too. Just to mention while we're talking about Owen, that if you go to the Letra Brewery in Pontelima, you can eat his Scotch eggs. They're not a euphemism. Filomena, great to see you here. You are fresh back from the Azores, as our American friends call it.
Azores, yes. The Azores, yeah.
And I think you had a fabulous time. I've made a video of your time there. It's nearly 5 minutes long, but I think it's worth every minute, because what a beautiful place that is. I mean, it's many places in one, isn't it?
Yes, there are 9 islands, and because unfortunately today we are not going to speak to Mr. Genuino. I would like to maybe speak a little bit about the islands in general, and because some people don't know the Azores and they don't know much about where the islands are and things like that. Sometimes people ask me, "Oh, are the Azores near Madeira?" Or Are they on the coast of Africa or something like that? So I would like to explain a little bit about the location and about the size of the islands and things like that.
Well, shall I
And
play the video? Because there is a little bit of explanation in the video.
okay.
Because it was such a joy to make this. It's such a picturesque place. I mean, Portugal
is.
is anyway. Portugal.
I
Is
really
so
recommend. I really recommend a visit to every island, because I've been on the nine islands. I've been on Madeira as well, but I've been on the 9 islands of the Azores.
Have
And
you?
for me, they are, a paradise, and I really enjoy going there every time I go. I have my next trip booked already for
Do
March.
you? Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm going to another 2 islands on March, and in March, and yes, I'm always excited to go. Although sometimes, like this time, for example, we had our flight cancelled because of the weather. We had to return one day later, but okay. I mean, there are worse places in the world to be stuck, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
yeah. Antonio Effia has been to 5 of the
5.
Azores Islands as well. It's good effort.
Yes.
Effort. I've yet to make a landing there.
Yeah.
And Madeira.
Usually people know either the 2 biggest or the 4 or 5 biggest, and then they left the small small ones for the last. But they are worth a visit. And the smallest one, Corvo, for example, is my favorite landscape of them all. But it's really worth a visit. Every island is different. And even Mr. Genuino, when I spoke to him, when I was in his restaurant, and we had the pleasure to have him at our table as well. And he also said, he agreed with me that every island is different, and every island has something special about it. Yeah.
Well, you'll see him in this video, and we will be talking, of course, more generally about Portuguese language, Portuguese culture. If you have any questions, do pop them in the chat. Are there any themes that you wanted to pick up on this morning, Filomena, from that point of view?
Well, you have sent me a long text about someone, Misha, I think. I don't know who that is, but about the words ending in agem. So like passagem, rodagem, etc. So I can answer about that question.
Excellent.
And then we'll see if there are more questions about Portuguese.
Good. Or maybe people are in the holiday mood today, but
yes, also some expressions. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the time of the month that we get to answer those questions with Filomena. So make the most of it, folks, and let's have a look at the Azores. I would suggest sitting back and taking this in all its glory, of these wonderful images that Filomena captured for us in the Azores. So enjoy.
I hope you show the video with the. I hope you don't show my video in the wind, right? Because
well, I did do that before, and there is a little bit of it in here. Fortunately, not the whole thing, because it's quite hard work, isn't it? But it was so good to include it, because it does give you a sense of how windy it can be over there as well. So see what you think of this.
Portugal. So we are in Portugal, but this time in the Azores. So what you can see over there is the island of Faial. Faial is an island that is more or less 21 kilometers by 14 kilometers, and the city that you can see from here, well, probably you can't, but from here we can see the city of Horta, which is the most western city in Europe, in Portugal, and therefore in Europe. And this is the island of Pico. Pico has the highest mountain in Portugal that you can see over there. And so that is the island, the mountain of Pico, which is 2,351 meters. Higher than Serra da Estrela. And at the bottom here you can see the vineyards that are typical from the island people. They are surrounded by volcanic rocks to protect them from the wind, from the sea, and they grow horizontally near the ground. So Pico is famous for its wine. Vamos entrar aqui no túnel para a caldeira do Faial.
Filomena, thank you so much for thinking of us while you're away.
And
What a
thank you.
magnificent place! What an incredible place! The
It-
colours, the scenery is incredible. Yeah.
Yes, and as you have noticed, sceneries that are also different, because in on the same island you can find also different sceneries, and it's amazing. I think
Yeah.
it's yeah.
And one of the questions immediately.
Thank you for the video. Thank you
My
very much.
pleasure.
For the
My
video.
pleasure. What an awesome wine bar and restaurant. Great. What an
Yes.
incredible. What is
Yes.
that place?
Yes, because they have won an award. Yes, an architecture award for that.
I'm not
Yes.
surprised. Yeah. I mean, doing that shot of panning through that window, that eccentric shaped window.
Yes, yes.
Island outside,
It's
absolutely
like being inside a ship or a submarine or something. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yes, and you wanted to add some information, I think, about the Azores. I think some of it you covered in the video, but what else did you want to say?
Yeah, well, I have some. I can tell you something about, for example, about how old they are, because the first one. Well, first of all, let's locate them. So they are in the Atlantic Ocean, They are between Europe and America. I would say more or less 3/4 from Europe and 1/3 of from Europe and 2/3 from America, maybe. So, and as you have seen a sign on that those boards, also New York was there, and so it's a group of 9 islands. We split those islands into 3 groups because there are 2 islands more to the east, and then 5 islands in the middle, and then other 2 islands more to the west, so closer to America. So we split those Grupo Oriental, Grupo Central, and Grupo Ocidental. And the first one to appear, yes, those are the 9 islands. The first one to appear was Santa Maria, the first one on your right, so the closest to us. Santa Maria was the first one to come, because they are all volcanic origin, so they are all a result of a volcano eruption, and the eruption happened about 8 million years ago.
Right.
So this is Santa Maria is about 8 million years old. And then after that, São Miguel, so the one who is the biggest one next to Santa Maria, to your well, it's behind the cockerel now.
Oh,
so yes, the biggest one.
He's
São
eating
Miguel.
the islands. Naughty cockerel.
So that island, São Miguel, yes, that's right. So because Santa Maria was the one in the south, right? Santa Maria was the first one, 8 million years old. Well,
Wow,
some people think, some scientists think that even maybe more, maybe between 8 million to 10 million years old. But São Miguel is over 4 million years old. So that was the second island to come up from the depths of the ocean. Then
Right.
you have, yes, on the central group you have the 5 islands. So they are Graciosa, at the top is Graciosa. Then to the right is Terceira. Then the long and thin one is São Jorge. Then the biggest one there is Pico. And then the other to the left is Faial. So from those, Terceira and Graciosa, the 2 at the top, so the 2 at the top, yes, Graciosa and the Terceira, they were after Santa Maria and São Miguel, they came from the sea about 3 million and a half years old. They are more or less.
Give or take a few years.
Yeah, more or less. 3 million and a half. Then over 2 million old is, yes, on the western part, the biggest island, Flores. So that one in the south, Flores is over 2 million years old. And then we go back to the central part, to the 5 islands in the central part. Yeah. And then the longest one and thin, São Jorge, it's 1,300,000 years old. Then after that, back to the western part. Back to the western part. The smallest island of them all, Corvo. Corvo is an island that is just 4 kilometers by 7 kilometers. Okay, 4 kilometers
tiny.
by 7. And this is about 1 million years old. Just 1 million years old. Okay.
So is it possible another one could pop up at any minute?
Yes, in some millions. Yes, they can. And the latest ones were the ones I was on a few days ago. So
Yeah.
Fayal, Fayal and Pico. Pico was the latest one. So Fayal from the two on the yes in the south is the one on the left. So Fayal is about 730,000 years old, and Pico is very young, just 300,000 years old.
What an
So
amazing history. And we're seeing Castelo Branco there. Not that one.
yes, it is. Yes, because because the population went from Portugal and also from other countries. For example, the Dutch were also
Were
lots
they?
of Dutch were colonizing, populating the island,
Mm.
inhabiting the islands, because you can see lots of influence, for example, of the Dutch. In that video, you have shown a mill, right?
Oh,
So
yes, of
you
course. That's
remember the
it.
mill. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is in Pico, and
yeah.
you can see the mills in Pico and in Fayal, in other islands as well. So there is a big influence, for example, of the Dutch. The island of Fayal and the island of Pico, they were even donated to a Flemish, man. So that's why they have a great influence from a Flemish influence, a
I
great deal.
see. Okay.
And so, yeah.
The Corvo. I mean, that's interesting. You're from around the Corvo, aren't you? And
Yes.
that's Corvo Island there. So a nice little a twinning almost.
Yes, Corvo means crow. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an infant. Yes, 300,000 years. It's just an infant. And if you see in terms of soil, for example, because you have seen on the video, you have seen the vineyards, and the vineyards in Pico, they are UNESCO World Heritage since 2014. It's okay, but that is São Miguel. Those are other okay, but those are pictures from other islands. But so as I was saying, for example, the vineyards, with the walls, those walls, very black walls with black stones because they are volcanic stones.
Yeah.
And they if you want, I can send the picture to you.
Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, you were
Uh,
saying as well, the vines are quite low to the ground because of the harsh conditions, the hostile
yes,
conditions.
because they have to be protected. They have to be protected from the wind, especially
Mm.
because, as you have seen, the wind is quite fierce.
Yeah.
So yes, and I'm okay. Just give me a second to
Yeah, of course.
find
I'll
a
read a few
picture.
comments while you're finding that.
Yeah, okay. Just
We have got
to
some
send you a
questions
picture of
coming
the
in about
vineyards,
the
okay?
language and the culture as well. So that's great. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, James, for your questions, as well as Michael's about words that end in Jean as well. Carpe Diem's in. Bon dia todos, who sailed over that way. Good morning to you, Carpe Diem. Good to see you here. Thank you for being here. You can go apparently around Corvo on a bike in some half hour or so, 30 minutes or so, says Antonio F. Brilliant. And going back to Owen's voice for a moment, in a crowded pub where it's even hard to hear your neighbor, Owen's voice can be heard even without raising his. What an amazing gift he has. Absolutely. And he uses his voice for poetry as well. And that poetry collection, don't forget, also on
Yes.
Amazon. And I will be helping you with the cover. Sorry, Owen. It's on the list, though. Hopefully, I'll get a bit of downtime this weekend to do that. And Pedder's joined us from Wales as well. Good morning to you, Pedder. Good to see you here this morning. So you sent me a picture, I think, of it.
Yes, of the Legido da Criação Velha.
Oh, yes, yeah. These are like little enclosures, aren't they? This is quite an incredible picture. I think this or similar was in the video. Is this for keeping the animals, or is this for growing wine?
No, it's to grow the vineyards. Yes.
Okay, so this is how they do it in the Açores in this style here. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
of course now it's November because You can't see the grapes now because it's November. But this is the way they cultivate the vineyards. So they grow horizontally next to the ground, because they are protected by these walls from the wind, and of course also from the salt, and I guess from other elements of the environment, but especially from the wind. Yes. And so they also get the heat from the soil, right?
Yes,
And
of course.
so they grow right next to the ground. And I was about to tell you that because the island is just 300,000 years old,
A youngster.
it's
Yeah.
too young. And then they had to import some earth, some soil from Fayal. So they had to carry some soil from Fayal to Pico,
Really?
because you can't grow a lot of things in a soil that is volcanic, right? So
Sure.
full of ashes. So you can see this, for example, in the Museum of Wine in Pico. You can visit Museu do Vinho, and they explain all this in the museum, about the origin of the wine there, and how they had to carry the soil from Fayal, and they had to carry the wine to Fayal to sell, because the harbor in Fayal, the harbor there is a very good one in Fayal. That's why it's one of the most famous in the world. The yachts, the big boats all go to Fayal. And on the other hand, in Pico, the coast is too harsh to have a good harbor. They have a harbor, but it's not as safe as the one in Fayal. So they to sell the wine, they had to carry the wine to Fayal, and then they could sell
It's
everywhere.
amazing, isn't it?
And
I'm astounded by the ingenuity of human beings. We just, necessity is the mother of invention, no question.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely
yes.
wonderful. And we saw a little bit of Genuino, who will join us in January. He's not feeling very well today.
No, unfortunately, we wish him all the best, and also we wish him a very, very happy day tomorrow, because tomorrow he will be 73 years old.
Really, what a legend! What an amazing legend! So, in your communication with him, do please send him our best wishes for a speedy recovery, and that we're looking forward. Yeah, great Christmas. Have a lovely birthday, and we'll see you in January. It'd be so wonderful.
We hope to speak to
You had
him.
a great time, didn't you? Hanging out with him at his restaurant and
Oh
hearing
yes,
about
he's an amazing person. He's fantastic. So he has so much to tell you. And by the way, the book, right? His book, O Mundo que eu vi, is an excellent book, and I can show you some photographs. Well,
and the autograph. Look at that.
My
Fantastic.
autograph, but some photos that he
It's
showed
a
me.
beautiful book, isn't it? It's
It
huge.
is an amazing book.
Yeah.
I'm reading it at the moment, and I love it. And for example, Mr. Genuino has showed me a picture. I'm going to try to find it. When he was 12 years old, he made his own boat. So he was just 12 years old.
I made a boat.
And he made a boat.
Okay.
And I can't find the picture now, but I will.
We will certainly see it, won't we, when he joins us. Apparently, Cordoba has 386 inhabitants, and I imagine you met a few of them that day. Oh, here it is. Here's his boat. Fantastic. Oh, look at that.
So
he made that one.
He made this boat.
What a guy.
And that's him when he was 12 years old.
Superb.
So and I read the story about the building of that boat, He had to collect all the money, the necessary money, to buy the boards to make the boat. And then he went to choose. There were just 4 boards. He needed 3 boards, so he went to choose the boards, and he chose 3 boards. And then when he was carefully preparing the boards, one of them broke because, of course, the tools that he had were not the best, and so one of the boards broke. And then he had to go and get the other one that he didn't want first, but he had to buy the other one, the 4th board. And he finally did. But you know, the whole of his life is a fantastic story. And he is always very determined. He's a very determined man, and he thinks that nothing is impossible. You know, it's just if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And
we need people like that on this planet, don't we? As an inspiration.
Yes, he is an inspiration. He is definitely an inspiration. And
and he has his own restaurant and visitor center where you met when you had dinner with him. So even after this life of incredible sailing and adventure, he now is available to people to speak of the experience, and you can have dinner in his
he's
own
a very simple man, you know, because he's a unique human being, because he is the only Portuguese and the 10th person in the world to have circumnavigated the world twice, right? So he has done it twice.
Extraordinary achievement.
Solo, because with no crew, just him, right?
Amazing.
So and his boat is about 11 meters long. So, you know, and not a very huge boat, but it's 11 meters long. And his boat's name?
Hemingway.
Yes,
of course.
If he was with us, I would show him my 2 editions.
Oh, brilliant! Portuguese and English.
I will show him next time. So this is my Portuguese version and my English version of Hemingway.
On there.
So
and what's the food like in the restaurant? Was the restaurant good as well?
Oh, very good. The fish, if you want to eat fish, that's the place to go, because of course in the Azores everywhere is good for fish, but because fish is amazing in the Azores. But if you really like something special, yes, definitely in Genuino, Restaurant Genuino, you have shown the site already, and even the site is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's got the sound of the sea on it.
Because with the sound of the sea and everything, it's very relaxing. So everything about it is relaxing.
Yeah.
And
ocean dwellers here. Talking of the oceans, Feliz Sexta-feira e bom fim de semana from Aviva. And the other restaurant, before we forget this, Filomena, what is the name of the other restaurant with the incredible architecture?
Well, the bar is Cella Bar, that is in Pico, 2 different islands. Okay, so the bar is Cella Bar, Cella, Cella Bar, but that is on the island of Pico. Mr. Genuino, well, actually, Mr. Genuino was born in Pico,
right?
And then when he was 8 years old, because this is another fantastic fact in his life, he has experienced the volcano in eruption in 1957-58. Remember, so he was 7 and 8 years old. He was born in 1950. So after the eruption of the volcano, when the eruption finished, 13 months after the beginning of the eruption, so his parents decided to move from Pico to Faial. So he lives in Faial since that time, since 1958.
Yeah, and that's the 1957 eruption, isn't it? And that is the most incredible photograph. If you're trying to make it out on the screen, if you're looking at a phone or something, you're seeing a tiny building, aren't you, in the foreground there? Is that a lighthouse or an observatory?
It is the lighthouse that it used to be at the edge of the island, and now it's no longer at the edge of the island because the island has extended a little bit with all the ashes and the lava.
That's all like one of those lateral thinking puzzles, isn't it? A lighthouse should be on the coast. Why is this lighthouse not on the coast anymore?
It's no longer on the coast. It was on the coast, but because of the volcano and all the lava and the ashes, the island has become bigger. Become bigger, and so the lighthouse is no longer on the edge. Yeah.
Antonio's been in that lighthouse, and the baby is growing here, the landmass. That little baby is growing there. Incredible Filomena. We're going to take a little break with some music. We've been featuring the music of Brani, an amazing Croatian guy who's made his home here in Portugal, and been playing his videos that are very uplifting. It's a little video, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about the Portuguese language and culture. We have a few questions, so let's crack on with that before we go into our respective weekends, including one where we'll see you in Coimbra. Those of us who
I hope to see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. So a little bit of music from Brani, and we'll be right back after this. And you can get your questions about Portuguese language and culture answered by Filomena right here.
Kažeš da ti tijelo lepi I da ti nekamo drugdje, kao da je na drugom mjestu. It's a place just for us, where we can be who we are. A place of harmony and clarity, of union and individuality. Und tausende Geschichten würden darüber geschrieben. Und jede ist besonders, so auch unsere. Bem longe do que conhecemos, onde as nossas almas se sentem vivas e somos invadidos pelo mais bonito dos sentimentos. Čujem da je strah prirodan, ali uz strah postoji osjećaj neprikosnovene sklade. That everything that was, is and will be was meant to be. That everything is in balance, in its rightful place. Und es ist egal, wie lange es dauert. Denn wenn wir das nur einmal spüren, sind wir durcheinander mit der Ewigkeit verbunden. Sinto que foi para isto que nascemos. Para estar num lugar que nos permite conectar com todo e que é a expressão da nossa existência. And when our feet touch the ground and we come back to what's called reality, I can barely recognize you. You're someone's daughter, a girl shaped by society, a distortion of your being. And I'm so happy to have met you here, where I can feel you in your purest form, up in the clouds. Toliko sam sretan da smo se našli ovdje, u ovom dalekom, čarobnom mjestu, negdje gore, u oblacima. Und man sieht sich in den Wolken. Quero te encontrar nas nuvens.
Well, talking of language as we are, English, Portuguese, and I think a bit of German in there, which you'd have understood
also
as well.
German, yeah.
Yeah, what a guy. What a guy. That's Brani. So thanks, Brani, for letting us play your tunes. Let's get into the language then. We had that great question from Michael, didn't we? About so many words.
You can call it great.
What did you make of it?
Well, it was a big question, yes. So he was speaking about the words ending in agem, agem.
Yeah.
Actually, he wrote lots of those words were a bit misspelled, but I understood what he meant.
Right.
I understood what he meant. So he says a few things that I don't agree with. He says that some are singular, some are plural without an S on the gem. Well, not quite. So the words are. You wrote embalagem, imagem, canoagem, passagem, mensagem, barragem, paragem, coragem, dopagem, garagem, miragem. So these were all the words that that were in his comment. And first of all, they are singular. The words are singular, and if you want to make a plural, you can make a plural, but you don't add an S to an M in the plural. One of the rules in the plural in Portuguese is if you have a word ending with an M, if you want to, like homem, for example, a very simple word, homem. If you want to say men in the plural, you have to replace the M by an N, and then you put an S. So homens, you spell it with an NS at the end. So, and the same happens with these words. If you, instead of one package, you want two packages, you say embalagens, instead of GEM, you put GENS, embalagens.
Yeah.
So you can make the plural of these words, but he was curious about what do they mean, right? Why this agem in every word? Well, this is a suffix, so a part of the final part of the word that is equivalent to the French age. So it's very, very similar to the French age, and it's from the Latin. So that's why coming from the Latin, it's similar to the French as well. And also some words that you have, like garage. You also have garage and garage in French and garage in Portuguese. So what does this suffix mean? It can mean a continuous action or process going. Like, for example, you say descolagem. Descolagem is the taking off of the plane, right? So the whole process of the taking off is descolagem. Or it can mean a group or a gathering or a set of something. For example, if you say ramagem, a ramagem is the group of the branches of the tree. So all the branches of the tree, a ramagem da árvore. So in general, they can either, because if you think of the agem, agem is also a word in Portuguese because it's the plural of the verb to act. Agir is the verb to act. And if you want to say in the present, they act, is eles agem or elas agem. So this is to do with acting, right? So with action. And so that is, for example, barragem. Barragem, well, the action is to stop something, to have a bar, like
a barrage.
Yeah, a barrage. Yeah. So it's always to do with this idea of an action, or also a group of something. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and in general, they are feminine words. They are
as well.
canoagem, passagem, descolagem, remagem. They are in general feminine. There are a few exceptions, as always, but usually they are feminine.
So that, I mean, that's a good point you make there. There are always exceptions, but he's kind of on the right sort of track, making a point there and seeing a pattern. But don't get complacent making patterns in Portuguese, because there are always exceptions as well on there.
Always.
Keep you on your toes, basically. Okay, thank you very much for answering that one. Pam was asking earlier on, como que viaja entre as ilhas por barco? So how are you getting from island to island? And something else I wanted to do, well, before you answer that, is you were saying, how are the Azores near Madeira? And what I wanted to do as a bit of a reveal here is to show their place on the world map. They're not, are they? But in that view, you are seeing Madeira in this bottom. What is it?
Yes, it's there. It's there where you have your mouse,
and then we can see Portugal over to the right, to the east here, and you can see this triangle, can't you? Which gives you a sense of distance. And then as I zoom out even more, as you were saying, their relationship to the Americas. I mean, it's like the world revolves around the Azores almost, isn't it?
Do you know what? Because the Azores, they are in the middle of three tectonical plates. Do you say plates?
Yeah, that's right.
So they are exactly in the middle of the American plate, the European one, and the African one. So they are that triangle between the three tectonical plates.
Yeah, it's magical, isn't it? Their position. They're magical, mystical, and Funchal is just down here to the south off the African coast. But you can't really say the Açores are off any coast. They are their own. They are their own place, aren't they?
Yes, they are in the middle of the Atlantic, right in the middle of the Atlantic. Yes.
And journeying between the islands is by boat, is it, generally speaking?
Well, between the ones that are closer to each other, yes, but all of them have got an airport. All of them, even Porto.
Right. Okay. Even
the smallest. Even in the smallest island, you can go by plane. Of course. Sorry.
If it's got an airport, it's like it is an airport. If it's only 4 kilometers by 7 kilometers, it can't be much more than an airport.
I can show you. I can show you also. I can show you a picture or video. But every island has got an airport. Of course, the smallest islands, the airports are smaller and the planes are smaller, right?
Yes.
So the planes are, I would say enough for 50, 60 people, maybe. Mm-hmm. Those airplanes with the two turbines, like right? They are quite. I like them. So you can have a direct flight from Lisbon or from Porto. You can, especially from Lisbon. From Porto, I don't know exactly if they do the same direct flights, but they also have direct flights from Porto. But from Lisbon, you can have a direct flight to the biggest island, of course, São Miguel, or to Faial, or to Pico, or to Terceira, right? Wow. So at least to those four, you can have direct flights. Then, for example, if you go to the central part where the 5 islands are, the central ones, you can go by boat from, for example, from Faial to Pico, you take half an hour by boat. Then, if you want to go from Faial to São Jorge, it takes 2 hours by boat.
Wow. Okay.
Then a boat to Terceira and Graciosa. I don't think they have a boat from I don't know, but I don't think there is a boat to Terceira or to Graciosa, because it seems near, but it's far away, right? So even from the one on the left, Faial, the smallest on the left there, from the 5, to the long and thin one, São Jorge, it takes 2 hours on the boat.
Really? Wow.
So imagine that to go to Terceira or to Graciosa, it would probably take 6 hours, or I don't know. But
it must affect the quality of life, mustn't it? If everything needs to be done in that order and with that sort of timing, it must affect the culture of the islands. It must be its own very distinctive culture based on that.
Yes, of course. But on the other hand, in Fayal, for example, they had a lot of influence from outside, especially with the yachts and the big boats that come from America or from Europe,
Yes.
from America to Europe or from Europe to America. Every big yacht stops there, and it was also essential in the world wars, for example.
Very
it
strategic.
was essential to have a base there, and so they also have lots of influence from outside, let's say.
You could argue, couldn't you, that Portugal was of course neutral in the Second World War, and the Azores and Madeira as well, of course, would have been very strategically useful. It was quite an amazing part Portugal would have played in the Second World War, maintaining its neutrality with such important land masses or islands in the Atlantic. Amazing. Okay, well that's your question answered there. So boat and plane.
Yes, but as I said, you can travel by plane from one island to another. You can have a little plane, but for example, from Flores to Corvo, the two on the western part, the Flores and Corvo, they also have a boat between them. It's also about half an hour or so. And so you can travel by boat between them, the closest ones. But the other ones, you better take a plane. Sometimes it's a 20 minutes or 15 minutes flight, but it's really better to take a plane. Yeah.
All right. I think you friends in as well this morning. Zhao Jackson is here. Hola, bon dia, Filomena as well.
Hola, Zhao.
And we have a question from Amy that we'll go to as well. And I just want to let you know that we've got Joseph Fisher here and Sandy Twiddy as well, who I think you know. So let's go to Amy's question. And this was a pronunciation question. I hear words ending in O two ways. Porto, and then Portu. Is it just regional or is one more correct with the same? Yeah, obrigado and obrigado. So can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Yeah, the correct way, the correct way should be the U sound.
Porto.
U. So Porto. And also when you say Portugal, not Portugal, but Portugal. That's the way you pronounce the word in Portuguese. Portugal and Porto.
Yes, because I mean, with all of these YouTube videos and an American pronunciation, is now
Porto.
Portugal. Well, I'm just landed in Porto in Portugal. Okay, so Portugal. Very good. And we say it all the time. How good to go to revisit that. Fantastic. Tectonical, says Joseph, helping us out with land mass movements earlier on. And minha querida professora, estou em Madeira. Can you please help me understand the word mistake? I've heard it two different ways.
The word mistake, it can be erro, falha, fail, right? Falha, mistake, erro.
So generally speaking, I made a mistake. What would you say? Erro?
Cometi erro. I committed, like I committed a crime.
Sounds a lot like euro as well, though, doesn't it? Euros and mistakes. You made a mistake with your euros. Your erro con meu euros. Okay, there you go. That helps, Sandy. Thank you for joining us this morning. I think we've got time for a few events. You may. Oh, Engano was the other one.
Engano. Oh, yeah. Yes, Engano is. Yes, Engano is also another word for mistake. But it's a different kind of
kind of mistake.
Different kind. You can say by mistake. Por engano.
Yes.
By mistake, por engano. But I made a mistake. You don't say eu fiz engano. No, eu fiz erro, eu cometi erro, but you can say por engano, by mistake, I did this. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you've got any events yourself to share with us, Filomena, do so. We've got some from Andy. The Christmas concert in February in Coimbra. This is nice because that's where we're headed for the Discovery Weekend this weekend. There's a free Christmas walk or run in Agada as well. Agada with the massive snowman and the little snowman on a grain of rice, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes. Festival in Horta Anadia, not the one, not the other Horta we've been talking about, but the one in Anadia. Christmas Wonderland in Anadia, where you can get some leitão as well, just down the road in Melhada, and drink some of that pink fizz. And of course, the big weekend coming up. We'll see Filomena there as a city tour on foot on Sunday. What have you got planned for us on Sunday?
Well, it depends on the weather as well. It depends on the weather. But if it's rainy, we can always take the small touristic little train, you see, that goes around. Because you can just sit down, relax, and they go around the city with a little train. So maybe that is a good option if it's rainy.
All right, and we're filming with Epicura Saturday afternoon. Saturday evening, you may have some fado lined up for us, so it might be a first chance for some people to hear some fado music.
Yes, although I really need to know how many people are interested to go because of the tickets, because they sell out very, very quickly.
When we have a drink tonight, I will put it on the agenda while we're having our welcome drinks this evening. I'll stick it on the agenda.
Because I can speak to Dr. Farinha, the owner and singer. He sings very, very, very well.
Singing doctor. Okay, now Bobby O'Reilly, we're making more of our movie, our feature film continues with the Englishman, the Irishman, and two Portuguese brewers walk into their own bar. That's the filming tomorrow. And Bobby fancies singing some fado himself. Is that generally allowed?
Yes, I mean, you can speak to him. If he wants, you can speak to him. Yeah.
All right, so that'll be a first. Bobby O'Reilly singing some fado tomorrow evening.
As I said, I have to know in advance how many people because the house is not very big. The room is not very big. And so
that's a technical term, isn't it? Where fado is performed, it's the fado house, isn't it? Or
it's a fado house, but it's not very big. So the space is limited. So if you really want to go, you better tell me so that I can get the seats. Okay.
All right, I'll organise that, and we'll see you on Sunday as well. Here's some singing in a couple of weeks. Well, less than what is that? Yeah, just over a week away, 16th of December.
That's in the Algarve.
That's in the Algarve, and that's Anna's choir who are singing there. And you may have seen an ukulele in the video we played from Branny. There's an ukulele jam I want to tell you about. Same day, December the 16th, over here by a cultural bar on the Silver Coast here at San Martino de Porto, and a load of ukulele players getting together to jam and have fun here in San Martino. Dad jokes for you. Let me just share these last few comments and dad jokes.
Yeah. And
please go ahead.
May I also refer the Christmas market in Miranda do Corvo, where I live? Now, it's today, tomorrow, and on Sunday.
Right, brilliant. Got to get to bed, says the OLP. Love you. All you Gumpers have a great day. Great show. Thank you very much. Someone sent me the wrong message and used Engano. And
yes, by mistake, as I said, by mistake, yes. Enganame, yes, I got it wrong.
Enganame. Okay, thank you, Liz F. Thank you for being here as well. And Ero, says Antonio, is the most direct translation mistake, but it depends on the context.
As always, you can't just throw a word and ask for a translation. It has to have the context.
Absolutely. The famous Portuguese words, it depends. My dentist asked if I smoke or drink coffee. I told him I drink. I asked, "Hey Siri, why am I still single?" And she turned on the front camera. Aww. And every night, who can relate to this? I think we will on Monday. Every night around 10 p.m., I realise it's only 6:30. Brilliant, T-Duck. And thank you so much, Filomena, for the lovely images and description of the Azores. You've obviously had a fantastic time over there. And we'll have a fantastic time this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and going on your tour of Coimbra and a bit of Fado tomorrow evening. Thank you so much. See you there. Gumpers, have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana.
Feliz
And,
Natal. Feliz Natal.
Of course, it's your Christmas appearance as well here, Filomena, too. So thank you so much for being with us this year. Have a wonderful Christmas on behalf of the Gumpers. Have a lovely Christmas. I know you and I will still be celebrating tomorrow and Sunday, but for the Gumpers on the Good Morning Portugal show context.
And it's my birthday next week.
Oh, okay, excellent. All right, let those celebrations continue. We'll see you all soon, and see those of you who are coming to Coimbra this evening for a little drinky poo. Ciao, ciao, and bye for now. Let's finish with this.
Ciao.
Friday. I need to learn the language to put me at ease. Filomena Friday. It's gonna take time learning Portuguese. Filomena Friday. I get confused nearly every day. Filomena Friday. How do I know which verb is okay? Filomena Friday. Practice those words so loud and clear. Filomena Friday. On a Filomena Friday, it's a day of cheer.
A Filomena Friday.
Friday. Trips for Brits at gmail.com.
There you go. Ciao, ciao.
Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.